so that is Waves LoAir. Let's go ahead and check it out and see how it works. So basically what this plugin does is it adds more of that low end, more low air to any signal. And it does it by way of this control, which adds in a lower octave of our low end based on wherever we set it here on our range, okay? So our range control is the cutoff frequency for our low pass, okay? And it's going to determine the frequency range used to create our LFE content or low frequency effect content. So let's pull this down for now and we'll just play. So let's pull it up here now where we have more content up here, right? So we're going to be using this area here. In this case, right around 100 Hertz. All right, then our low air control here, that controls, again, the generated content that is going to be lowered by 1 octave. So you can just dial that in, you have the amount that you want. I can even pull the low down right here and just hear that low air. So just that lower octave. Then our low control controls the level of our filtered signal. Okay, so essentially, sort of like the range we're choosing here, our filtered signal. Let me pull the low air down now and we'll just try the low. Pull this up. So we add the low air, which is an octave lower. And if you have your studio monitors on or you have a subwoofer, you are literally feeling that air just rush at you. This is a crazy plugin, great for creating those atmospheres or using on all kinds of different content, which we're going to see here in just a minute. Now, if you're using a cell phone, you probably hear absolutely no difference. If you're using laptop speakers, you probably hear absolutely no difference. So you need studio monitors or at least large speakers and preferably a subwoofer to actually hear this. Now you're going to see me clipping within the plugin, not a big deal. As you can tell, it's still high fidelity. I just need to be able to saturate the signal fully for the video's sake. But in here in our mix, you can see in here in Studio One, I already have a limiter on that. So we're not going to clip in the video, okay? So next up is our direct control, and that's pretty self-explanatory. Pull the direct down. You're just getting the low content, which can sound pretty cool. You can actually use that as an effect. But pull our direct in, of course. Then we have an align control, and this is going to align our low end with our direct. Basically what this is going to do is delay that direct a little bit. And that's just because of the way low end sound waves move versus higher end sound waves. So this is going to, again, delay that direct signal just a bit so it matches up a little bit more. Now you don't have to use it. It still sounds fine with it off, right? But we can align that. Then of course you have your overall output control and a trim control. So obviously pull it down or use your trim. I can click that trim and it's going to pull that output down some so we're not clipping there. All right, so that is all of the controls of LoAir. And by the way, there's going to be a 10% off all Waves plugin code in the description below. And also if you're buying studio gear off of Amazon, head to the description below to use our links. All right. Now, right now we're using the LoAir stereo version, but it also comes in a mono flavor and even 5.1 or 5.0, 5.1. I can't show you these in the video because we're not going to have 5.1 output for YouTube. But here's what the 5.1 looks like if you want to use this for sound design, for cinematic sound design and things like that. All right. So let's come back up here. We've already heard it on this sort of cinematic drum track, but what about something different, like maybe a piano? That can be pretty cool. So let's bypass it for now, and we're just using Waves Grand Rhapsody piano here. So again, with LoAir bypassed, sounds pretty good. But you can do some stuff with LoAir to again bring in that low end, and it sounds really killer. So let's turn it on. So if we hear this section here with it off, sounds fine, but if we want to bring in that low end, that low air, and give it some girth and some width and some power, sounds so cool, man. That is cool. Let's move on to another sample here. Now this is going to be the mono version. Sounds fine. Let's bring in some low air to that. Of course, use our range here, our low air amount, and play back. Brings in that lower octave here. So again, my studio monitors are just throwing air at my face right now. Let's go to something else, because again, you can use this on all kinds of different content, not just what we're showing here. So now what we have is some element, which is a synth from Waves. So let's bypass it for now and just see what we have raw here. Sounds cool. But with some low air, it's gonna sound killer. Another source, what about some drums here? So bypassed first. But we can use some low air on this full drum mix, or of course use it on individual instruments as well. But here on our full drum mix, it would sound like this. Bypass. Cool. So let me come down here now to this little EDM part. Now this EDM part actually has enough low end in it already. So we have this bypassed. Just hear that. That's already got a ton of low end, but again, you could use this as an effect as well. So let me turn it on, and right now we have the direct all the way down. So hear that. So we just have that pumping sound. Which again could be useful if you're doing some scene where people are outside of a club and you want to filter that high end out. Instead of grabbing an EQ, you might want to grab a low air. You can still simulate sort of somebody standing outside of a club with the music still playing and pumping. Sounds pretty cool. And then of course, cinematic sound design. Let's go ahead and hear this here first. Let me select that. And low air is bypassed right now. All right, so a cool hit there. We have another hit coming up right here. Now, let's take this to the next level with low air. Now, I'm gonna warn you, and I'm being serious. Turn down your studio monitors before I do this. I'm serious. Pause the video and turn them down. Okay? All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. My room is rumbling right now. I'm being surrounded by air from my big studio monitors here. I mean, listen to this here. If we bypass low air here. So it sounds good, but put low air even on this part here. That's not a hit. We're going to create an atmosphere of just surrounding low end. Awesome. I got to hear that one more time. So again, turn your monitors down if you turn them back up. One more time here. Boom. Bypassed. last time. Back on. All right, so that is LoAir from Waves. Always go to waves.com to check it out. Link, of course, will be in the description below.